Hey guys, those of you who haven't been to Japan might not have seen the Japanese 500 yen coin. We showed you on previous videos all the Japanese coins. The physically biggest and highest value is the 500 yen, which is worth about $5. And next month, the Japanese government is going to be bringing in a new 500 yen coin. So they say it's because they want to stop counterfeiting. Apparently somebody's been counterfeiting 500 yen coins. So to stop that, they've changed the design. They've designed it into a layered 3 different metals. Here it is here, have a look at this. And change the design and put different symbols on it that will help identify it, and then put little ridges around the edges. But most importantly, and probably the biggest mistake they're making, is that they're changing the dimensions of it. So what that means is, in Japan there's 4 to 5 million vending machines, depending on who you listen to, you know, which of the people in the know you listen to. The estimates are between 4 and 5 million vending machines. So this is a society that still loves using cash. So the Japanese government's been trying to encourage everybody to go cashless, you know, and to use credit cards and things like that, right? They've got all sorts of campaigns on to try and encourage people to go cashless. But Japanese people love their cash. We've talked about that lots of times before. And also they love their technology, which means that you've got all these technological pieces of equipment designed on accepting cash that are going to either need to be updated or have parts replaced on them, their coin mechanisms replaced. And huge numbers. I mean, the last 18 months, we've showed you, there's been lots of new cash registers prompted by COVID. They're already doing it. They're bringing in these cash registers where instead of the staff having to count the cash, they just feed it into the register and the register counts the cash. And so if you think about every shop, every restaurant, everywhere, every retailer in Japan, how many there are and how many have brought in these reggies. Some of them, the staff feed the cash into the register, and some of the newer ones we showed you, the customer feeds their cash directly into the register themselves. But either way, you've got all these registers, cash registers around Japan that are counting the cash, which obviously they're not going to be any good. And there's going to be this really weird transition period, because I mean, this isn't going to happen quickly. The Japanese government have said they recognise that it's going to take a long time to get the new 500 yens circulating, and in the meantime the old 500 yens are going to be still available. So you're going to have this really long period of time where there's going to be both types of 500 yen. And then all the retailers, I mean, at huge expense. You can just imagine there'd be a lot of businesses in Japan that are going to be really not happy about this, because it's going to be big expense for them to either replace their register or replace their coin mechanisms on all their registers. And there's going to be this transitional period where you're going to have half new coins out there and half old coins, and they're going to have to decide, each retailer and each vending machine owner is going to have to decide when to change over, which means that the customers are going to be going up to vending machines and feeding in their new 500, and it won't be accepted. And then they'll go up to another vending machine and feed in an old 500, and it won't be accepted, because every machine's going to have to be one or the other. They're not going to be able to develop machines that are going to take both, are they? Because that defeats the purpose of the whole stopping the counterfeiting thing. The idea is to phase out the old 500s and not use them anymore. So it's going to be a mess. It's going to be a real mess. So it's just amazing some of the decisions that get made here, you know, and the lack of logic behind them. So who knows how much the counterfeiting of the 500 yen coins was costing a year. You know, hard to know how much. I haven't seen any numbers about that at all, how much that was actually costing. But I'm sure if you ask the vending machine owners and the retailers, who would be the people who would be the victims of this counterfeiting stuff, ask them what's going to cost them more, accepting the occasional counterfeit 500 yen coin, or this shit fight that's going to come from this changeover, you know. And then of course there's also the expense of designing and minting these new coins as well, you know, and recalling all the old ones and all the other stuff that's going to go with it. So it's just amazing, the decision making, the thinking that goes into these things, and the timing is atrocious. The timing's really atrocious. They must have made this decision, you know, 5 years ago or something, and because they made the decision, they're following through on it. But it's just, it's even worse decision based on the fact that, you know, everywhere we're going at the moment, we're coming across new cash registers because of the COVID thing. They've been trying to, you know, companies have been hurrying up the no contact thing and bringing in all these new expensive cash registers so that the staff don't have to have direct contact with the customers. So the timing's atrocious. There must be business owners and company owners and individual small businesses and vending machine companies and vending machine owners and all sorts of people around Japan. Anyone else I've forgotten? Oh yeah, the car parks and train ticket machines. That's the other one. Every train station in Japan has, you know, either 1 or 20 ticket vending machines, you know, that accept cash. And car parks, coin car parks are huge in Japan. So I mean, it's just because of the fact that Japan loves, you know, Japanese people love using cash, and the technology thing. They love the technology thing as well. The combination of those two things means that everywhere you go in Japan, you're feeding coins into machines. So, you know, probably the worst country in the world to suddenly change, and the 500 yen coin is probably the most important. You could probably phase out 1 and 5 yen coins, or 1 yen coins. 1 yen coins are just waste of time usually. Annoying things, you know. You could phase them out and that wouldn't affect anybody. But the 500 yen, that's the biggest value coin and the most useful when it comes to vending machines and things like that. So it's probably the most ridiculous thing you could do. If you went around and interviewed the big companies that own all the cash registers like 7-Eleven and said to those guys, what do you think about changing the size of a 500 yen coin? You know, they'd say it would be the worst thing that you could possibly do to them, you know. So it's just insane. There's so often there's things like that here that you just, and nobody's. I'd heard about this just recently that you know the new 500 yen coin was coming. So I got on the net and I was looking for information about it, and I found the government actually have a page explaining about the 500 yen coin and showing the new design features and the new dimensions and things like that. And so that's where I got this information, was directly from the government webpage. But then I started to look to see what comments were being made by the newspapers and by other people, and nobody looks at anything here with a critical eye. You know, they're all they just report on it. Oh yes, there's this new 500 yen coin that's coming in November, and it's to stop counterfeiting, and they don't question anything. They just repeat what they're told, you know, which is sort of what newspapers are supposed to be for, sort of thing. But that critical eye from the media is an important thing as well, you know, and I didn't find any. There could be some out there, but I didn't find any. So there's nobody sort of saying, hey, look, wait a minute, is this really a good idea? What's the cost of this going to be? You know, what's this going to cost us? Nobody seems to be questioning it, you know. And again, it's that shogunai thing that just people just accept whatever's happening. But you know it's going to happen. I mean, it's not going to be long. You know, if they're releasing it in November, it'll take a while for them to start trickling into circulation. Let's predict, you know, January, February, we'll start to see reports of the problems that are coming as a result of the new 500 yen. Because it's going to drive people nuts. Because you're going to have this transition period, which could be, who knows, a year or two, where you know you're not going to know which 500 yen is going to be useful for you. You're going to walk into a convenience store and you're going to drop your new 500 yen and go, oh no, sorry, it's not accepted yet. Or you're going to go into a place and drop your old 500 yen and it's not going to be accepted yet. So the 500 yens are going to be a curse. And then if you don't want to deal with 500 yen coins at all, you're going to be, the alternative is 5 100 yen coins. You know, the 500 yen is the most convenient coin in Japan, without a doubt. You know, and if you don't want to deal with them, you're just going to have hundreds, and then you get a situation where nobody wants the 500 yens because they don't know where they can use them and where they can't. It's just, you can see it coming. This happens in Japan all the time. You hear about something that's coming, and it's obvious it's going to be a problem, and you go, whoa, that's not going to be cool, you know, and you just know it's coming, and then they're all surprised. No doubt, you know, January, February, we'll see on TV, you get these panels of people sitting there on TV talking about topics like this, and they won't, you know, we haven't seen anything about it at all at the moment. In fact, before making this video, I was actually asking a couple of family and people I ran into, do you know about the 500 yen coin? Most of them didn't even know. So, but what will happen is probably January, February, we'll start to see panels of people on TV talking about, it's a bit of a problem, the new 500 yen, isn't it? So don't you know? And the massive cost of either replacing machines or updating coin mechanisms. And, you know, any machine that's more than a couple of years old, any cash register or vending machine or whatever, they won't be able to get a new coin mechanism that fits with the new 500 yen. Probably they'll have to replace the whole machine. So we'll see stories about how, you know, JR, you know, Japan Rail, has had to spend so many $1 billion replacing all their ticket machines. Probably that's the sort of thing we're going to see, and everybody's going to be surprised, you know, because they don't see it coming. So anyway, just a little thing. It's just a little thing, but it's just so obvious. It's just so obvious in the land of coins and technology. So this is going to be a hassle. Just show you one of the old 500s before we go. Those of you who haven't seen it yet. Not radically different from the new one, but it doesn't have to be. It's the dimensions that's the issue. The design itself, if they just change the design and they put little ridges on it and things, if they just did that instead of changing the actual size of it, if they kept the size the same, they could do anything they wanted to as far as changing it, if they just kept the size the same. But nobody sort of noticed that, apparently. Oh, we need to change the size of it as well to stop the counterfeiting. How long do you think it's going to take before the counterfeiters make another fake 500 yen coin that's exactly the same size as the new one, so they can go around feeding it into machines? And ATMs too, by the way. A lot of Japanese automatic teller machines accept coins as well, so you can deposit coins into your automatic teller machine. So they're going to have to be modified too. It's just massive, millions and millions of machines. Well, between 4 and 5 million vending machines alone, and then just imagine at least one cash register for every retail outlet in Japan, and then places like 7-Eleven that have 2 or 3. Just huge expense. So, just to stop some fake 500 yen coins. So no one did the math on that, evidently, because if they did the math on it, they wouldn't be doing this. So anyway, that was it. It's just hard to watch stuff like this sometimes. It's like, oh dear, what are you doing? What are you doing? So anyway, there was that. Here comes the new 500 yen coin. We'll report on it when they do finally realise it's a mistake. Whenever that is, January, February, March next year, we'll show you, and how surprised they are. They'll all go, oh, so done, eh? And they all get this real surprised demeanour going on, like, oh, geez, didn't see that coming, you know. And then there'll be some sort of press meeting with the government, sort of explaining why it was important, and that yes, we know there's some problems, but it'll be okay, sort of stuff. For sure. So predictable. Anyway, there it was. More videos coming soon.